And no balls and one strike with one out, one on here. And the left-handed hitting Caleb Cox awaits, and the pitch. And that one is fouled off to the left and out of play with the third base dugout occupied by Valley. Count moves to 0-2. Bee Diggers have a very busy week, 3 games in 5 days. They'll be on the road on Thursday against Kent Denver, on Saturday morning in Keensburg against Weld Central. Murderous schedule for Brush. The stretch. Again, throw back to first, and Griffith was leaning, but he's back in diving. Justin had thoughts about taking off there. We'll have a lot of moments in Brush Bee Digger baseball history that will bring you throughout the course of the season as well, looking back at some of the great Bee Digger baseball that's fouled off to the left. As Caleb Cox took that fastball, just poked it enough that it went out of play. The stretch and the offering, and that one bounces away, and that's a wild pitch. The ball is loose up the first baseline. Griffith around second. He'll stay right there. But that was about a 50-footer. And on the wild pitch, Griffith advances, and the Bee Diggers have a runner in scoring position.
Griffith advances to second on the wild pitch.
With 1 ball and 2 strikes, 1 out, we're at the top of the first inning, just underway in the 2018 season for the Bee Diggers. The stretch and the offering, and the breaking ball is tapped slowly up the first base side. It's going to be a tough play. It's gloved by the pitcher, the underhand toss in time, and Kistler retires Cox. Excellent play. Advancing to third is Griffith, and there's 2 down. Yeah, that was anything but easy. Here's Isaac De Herrera. De Herrera, the Bee Digger third baseman today. Griffith off of third, and Kistler will operate from the stretch. And the pitch, and that changeup is down and away. 1 ball and no strikes. Lots of off-speed stuff we're seeing here from this right-hander, Tyler Kistler. And the offering, and that fastball is a strike on the inside corner. Count levels at 1 ball and 1 strike. And the pitch swung on and grounded into left field for a base hit beyond the diving Rodriguez. Justin Griffith scores, and the Bee Diggers break out on top 1-0 in the first inning on De Herrera's RBI single.
Left field, it'll bring in 1 run for the Bee Diggers. Now up, number 21, Nick Wellen.
Here's a sophomore shortstop, Nick Wellen. Tremendous athlete for the Bee Diggers. Football, wrestling, and baseball as well. The stretch and the offering. And that is right there at the knees for a strike. Took something off it. Count is at 0-1 to the sophomore shortstop. Here's the stretch and the pitch. In the dirt with a changeup. Count levels at 1-1. 1 ball, 1 strike. 1 on, 2 down. The Bee Diggers with a 1-0 lead here in the first inning. Kistler delivers, and the breaking ball is tapped foul off of Wellen. Count moves to 1-2. Your groundwater professionals is Coons Pump and Well Supply in Atwood. They offer many choices from repairs to your farm and domestic wells to installing new systems. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Short lead at first, and the pitch. Swung on and tapped slowly over the mound towards the second baseman, Triana, and he will tag the runner going by. And that'll do it for the Bee Diggers here in the first inning. But the Bee Diggers do score a run, and Brush does it on 1 base hit. There were no errors, and a man left. Let's head to the bottom of the first inning. The Bee Diggers won. Valley coming to bat on 1010 KSIR and KSIR.com. John Beltran back with you. The Bee Diggers lead 1-0 here as we head to the bottom of the first inning from Volunteer Stadium on the campus of Valley High School on Isaac De Herrera's RBI single. Let's set the lineup for the defending 3A champion Valley Vikings. Batting first is the shortstop Jose Mercado. Center fielder Kyle Bull hits second. The pitcher Tyler Kistler hits third. The cleanup hitters third baseman Ivan Rodriguez. Dominic Triana, the second baseman, hits fifth. Servando Perez, the catcher, hits sixth. Blake Schumann, the first baseman, batted seventh. The DH, Ty Stotts, hits eighth. And right fielder Rafael Delgado hits ninth. The Beat Diggers have Ryan Dunker at first, Caleb Cox at second. The third baseman is Isaac D. Herrera, Nick Wellen at short. Around the outfield, Ben Brown in left, Carson Rules in center. The right fielder is Jade Queen, Colin Cole behind the plate, and left-hander Justin Griffith is on the mound for the Beat Diggers.
Leading off for the Vikings, number 10, Jose Mercado.
Here is Mercado stepping in. Again, he went the distance in that victory over Eaton in the state championship game. Here's the wind by the lefty to pitch, and that's upstairs. 1 ball and no strikes. And the offering. Change up, a strike on the outer half at the knees. Count levels at 1-1. And the pitch. And the fastball's just inside. Two balls and 1 strike to Mercado. Justin Griffith, the lefty, delivers. And that's upstairs. Took something off at 3 balls, 1 strike. This will be the story for the Beat Diggers this season. If they can pitch, they'll be all right. Griffith, Bryson Woolridge, 2 lefties. They got Ryan Dunker and Gunnar Guzman, 2 righties. And I'm sure they'll rely on others as well. And the offering. And that is right there for a strike at the belt. 3-2. Three balls and 2 strikes to the opening hitter in the bottom of the first, Jose Mercado for Valley. And the pitch. And that tails. Oh, for a called strike 3. It got the corner. And Griffith records a strikeout. There's 1 down. Boy, that was an edge pitch right there, and that'll bring up Kyle Bull.
Vikings, number 6, Kyle Bull.
So Bull heading for the left side, lefty against lefty to pitch. And that's a fastball right there for a strike on the inner half. No balls and 1 strike. The Beat Diggers had a 2-out hit in the opening inning there from Isaac D. Herrera driving in. The pitcher Griffith. And the offering. Swung on, grounded foul towards a Digger dugout on the first base side. No balls and 2 strikes. No balls, 2 strikes here in the bottom of the first inning. Let's see if Griffith has that out pitch. That's what you need, the out pitch. One thing is to get ahead of hitters. You got to put them away, and that's what he did with Jose Mercado. And the offering. Swung on and fouled off the catcher. Count remains at 0-2. And again, stay tuned throughout the course of these games. We'll have great moments in Brush Beat Digger baseball history throughout the course of the season. All the way back to the early 2000s. The bases are empty, 0-2. And the lefty Griffith delivers. And that's up and away. Count moves to 1-2. Tyler Kistler's on deck, followed by Ivan Rodriguez. Yeah, you do have a few key players back from that state championship team for the Vikings from a year ago. 1 ball, 2 strike count, the pitch. Swung on, and that ball is hit in the air into left center field. Carson Rule dives. He cannot get to the baseball. That ball's headed towards the fence, around first and into second with a 1-out double. As Rule nearly made the grab out there, is going to be Kyle Bull.
Lines 1 out to left center for it. Double.
And that'll bring up the number 3 hitter for Valley, Tyler Kistler.
Tyler Kistler.
As Kistler steps in. Beat Diggers had the same situation in the first inning, a little bit different though. Swung on, that ball is lifted foul off the right side. Ryan Dunker gives chase, but it's out of play. No balls and one strike. Again, the Bee Diggers don't play a home game until next Tuesday when they face Sterling, so 3 games on the road to begin the season. Kent Denver Thursday, Weld Central Saturday morning. The stretch, looking back, and the pitch. Swung on. That ball is grounded up the middle, and Ben Brown plays it off the bottom of his glove. Check that. It's Wellen. Throws to first late. I was used to Brown out there, but Wellen got a piece of that baseball. Now first and third. And that'll bring up Ivan Rodriguez. That'll be scored an error. Tough error, but a makeable play there for Wellen.
Number 7, Ivan Rodriguez.
Here is Rodriguez, a big, strong right-handed hitter. We'll see if Kistler takes off from first with Valley trailing Brush 1-0 here in the bottom of the first inning. And Griffith comes home, and that changeup is a strike on the inner half belt high. It's 0-1. Dominic Triana's on deck. Bee Diggers had a 2-out RBI single from De Herrera in the top of the first inning, and Valley now is looking for the equalizer. 3-step lead at first, and a snap throw to first back in standing over there is Kistler. Steve Kistler, of course, the head coach. The Bee Diggers, coached by Kevin Fergus, his 4th year at the helm, and the offering. And that is, they called a balk. And that's going to score a run as Kyle Bull crosses home plate.
For the Vikings, which will tie.
Yeah, it appeared that
at 1.
Griffith might not have come to a set.
Moves to second.
And now Kevin Fergus wondering exactly what happened, but it looked like he might have not completely come to a set, and that's what I think was called there. And as a result, Valley ties the game. All right, no balls, 1 strike, 1 out. With a man at second and at the plate, Rodriguez. Griffith looks back, and the pitch, and that one goes to the screen. And advancing to third, just slipped out of his hand, it looked like. Usually those pitches that slip out of your hand are all speed pitches. So now Rodriguez with an RBI opportunity and a man at third.
Up to third on the wild pitch.
Temperature in the 50s here in Gilchrist. Here's the stretch. And the pitch. Swung on and fouled off to the right. Count is sitting at 1-2. Here to Ivan Rodriguez. Griffith did record a strikeout of Jose Mercado to begin the bottom of the first inning. And the offering, and that's up and away. Count levels at 2-2. Already the 17th pitch thrown by Griffith, and keep in mind this is the 3rd year that they've instituted a pitch count. You can throw up to 110 pitches, and that is it. And the offering, swung on and fouled off to the right. That's headed out of play. Dunker giving chase, but he's got no room over there. And it remains at 2-2. Balk has scored the lone run for Valley here in the bottom of the first inning, and they're looking to add to the lead with Tyler Kistler at third base. He reached on an error. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Laying down the sign is Cole. The stretch. And the offering. Swung on. That ball is grounded up the middle for a base hit into right center field. Kistler scores on the RBI single from Ivan Rodriguez. And Valley now leads 2-1.
Now leading 2-0. Now up, number 1, Dominic Triana.
That'll bring up Dominic Triana, the second baseman. Hitting from the left side. The stretch from Griffith. And the pitch. And the breaking ball stays a little bit high. Just a tad high. 1 ball and no strikes. Two-step lead at first for Rodriguez. Lefty against lefty again. And the offering. And that's a strike right there on the outer half with a fastball belt high. Count levels at 1-1. Valley's in the lead 2-1. Here in the bottom of the first inning, from breakfast and snacks to perfectly brewed coffee and teas, Willow Coffee and Bake Shop, 921 Edison Street in Brush. Snap throw to first. Back in is Ivan Rodriguez. Servando Perez on deck. Griffith looks towards first, and he comes home. And that changeup is low. 2 balls and 1 strike. Yeah, when you look at this Brush schedule, 2 games against Valley, the defending state champions, 2 against Eaton, ranked number 1, the defending state runner-ups, 2 against Sterling in the top 10. Swing and a miss. On a pitch down and in, it's 2-2. 2 against University, they're in the top 10. 1 against Fort Morgan, they're just outside the top 10 in 4A. 1 against Yuma, they're a top 10 team in 2A, so the Bee Diggers will be challenged virtually every game. And the snap throw to first, and a good one there, but back in diving is Rodriguez. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 on, 1 out. Bottom of the first inning. Valley's in the lead 2-1. Griffith stretches and delivers. Swung on and grounded to second. Could be 2. Flip to second for 1. And well into first, and that's late, and the ball gets away from Dunker, but no advance by the hitter. That'll go 4-6 as Caleb Cox made the flip there to Wellen. And there's 2 down.
Ivan gets caught in the fielder's choice for the second out of the
And
inning.
that'll bring up Servando Perez.
Number 14, Servando Perez.
Again, a similar situation here with a man off of first and 2 down, though. The pitch. Changeup is upstairs. And again, Griffith building up a pitch count here in the first inning. That's already 25 for the senior Justin Griffith. 1 ball, no strikes. Cole setting up on the inside, and the pitch. And that is just off the plate. 2-0. Nice mix here of lefties and righties in this Valley lineup. Two balls, no strikes. And the throw to first, and back in diving there is Triana. This is the number 6 hitter in this Valley Viking lineup. Griffith comes home, up and away. That'll be 3-0 here to Perez with Blake Schuerman on deck. Groceries, fresh cut meat, and deli items. That's Brush Grocery Card, Floral Pharmacy, Western Union, Public Service Payments, and 24-hour gas, 1302 West Edison Street in Brush. And the pitch upstairs, and it's a walk to Perez. First and second now for Valley with 2 down here at the bottom of the first inning.
Draws the walk, which will bring runners to first and second for number 16, Blake Schuerman.
And Valley will have a courtesy runner.
Get a courtesy runner for
Perez.
Number 17, Josiah Mudrow.
Josiah Mudrow will be the courtesy runner at first with Triana at second. And Schuerman, the 7th place hitter in this Valley lineup, steps in. All right, now we reset here. Bee Diggers can get out of this. They're okay right now, only down by a run here in the bottom of the first with 2 down. And the pitch swung on and lifted into shallow right center field. That's going to be a long run for the second baseman, Cox, and he reaches out and makes the diving catch into right field. Caleb Cox saved a run, and the Bee Diggers get out of that. It could have been worse. But Caleb Cox with a tremendous play out there in shallow right field.
For the third out of,
and the inning is over.
We'll go to the second. Valley lead
for Valley. In the bottom of the first inning, 1 run on 1 hit. There was a Bee Digger, make it 2 runs on 2 hits, A Bee Digger error and 2 men left. Valley 2, Brush 1 on 1010 KSIR and KSIR.com. Let's head to the top of the second inning, where the Bee Diggers trail the Valley Vikings 2-1.
Diggers, number 24, Carson Rule.
The Beat Diggers will send up the 6, 7, and 8 hitters. Carson Rule, Ryan Dunker, and Jade Queen against right-hander Tyler Kistler. Here's the pitch. Oh, that ball nearly hit him. So it was tailing inside to the right-handed hitting center fielder. 1 ball and no strikes. 1 run on 1 hit for Brush, 2 runs on 2 hits for Valley. The Beat Diggers have committed the game's lone error. Here's the wine and offering. Swung on and fouled to the screen. And the count levels at 1 ball and 1 strike. The Beat Diggers got their run in the first on Isaac D. Herrera's RBI single. Valley countered as they scored on a balk, and then Ivan Rodriguez came up with an RBI single. And the 1-1. And the breaking ball is lined down the right field line. That's going to drop for a base hit. Delgado to his left, rounding first, but staying there is Carson Rule. And the Beat Diggers are off to a good start here in the second.
Rule lines one down the right field line for a single.
That'll send up the number 6 hitter.
Number 23, Ryan Dunker.
Number 7 hitter, that is Ryan Dunker. Let's see if Dunker and the Beat Diggers might be in small ball mode here. Trailing by a run here in the second. Plenty of baseball to go in Gilchrist. Here's the stretch and pitch. That's a fastball for a strike on the inner half. It's 0-1. Laying down the sign is Perez. And the pitch. Swung on. That ball is grounded to short. Mercado flips to second for 1. Triana to first. That's a 6-4-3 double play. And there are 2 down here in the top of the second inning. A tailor-made double play hit by Dunker. And that'll bring up Jade Queen.
Now up for the Beat Diggers, number 10, Jade Queen.
Queen is playing right field for the Beat Diggers this afternoon. And the pitch. And that one's in the dirt on the changeup there, thrown by Kistler. 1 ball and no strikes. Yeah, that's why I wondered if the Beat Diggers might have been in small ball mode there, but Dunker was hitting away, and that one's up and in. 2 balls and no strikes. We're in the top of the second inning here from Volunteer Stadium. Second-year field here for the Vikings, and the pitch. Swung on. That ball is driven down the right field line. It's trouble if it's fair, but it twists foul. Boy, he gave that a ride. That would have been at least 2 bases for Jade Queen, but it was twisting into foul territory. It's 2 balls and 1 strike. Colorado Plains Medical Center has experienced physicians and a highly trained surgical team trained in the latest surgical procedures. Explore what procedures are possible in your hometown. That's Colorado Plains Medical Center. Ball 2, strike 1, 2 outs in the pitch. And the breaking ball is a strike on the outside corner, framed very nicely there by Perez. And the count is at 2-2 with the bases empty. And the pitch to Queen, and that bounces in. And again, if the Beat Diggers can work Kistler a little bit, he has thrown 31 pitches just to get to the bullpen. Kistler, a tall, rangy right-hander here for Valley. The right-hander kicks and fires. Swing and a miss, and a fastball that looked like it was ball 4, well above the letters. And the Beat Diggers are done here in the top of the second inning.
For the third out of the inning.
No runs for Brush on 1 hit, no errors. And the bases were left empty. Let's head to the bottom of the second inning. The score, Valley 2, Brush 1 on 1010 KSIR and KSIR.com. We move to the bottom of the second inning, where the Beat Diggers trail the Valley Vikings on the road 2-1. Justin Griffith for Brush will be pitching to the following hitters: Ty Stotts, Rafael Delgado, and Jose Mercado. 8, 9, and 1.
25, Ty Stotts.
Stotts, the DH today, a big, strong right-handed hitter. 29 pitches thrown by Griffith in the opening frame. And the offering, down and in, took something off at 1 ball and no strikes. And the 1-0 changeup is low. 2 balls and no strikes here to Ty Stotts. You just want this team to earn as much as possible. The pitch took something off it down the middle for a strike at the knees. Ball 2, strike 1. Griffith looking to tighten up that strike-to-ball ratio as well. The offering, and that's up and away. Yeah, lost his release point there. 3 balls and 1 strike. 2-1 Valley, bottom of the second inning. And Colin Cole out to visit with his pitcher. Hopefully just trying to settle him down. Yeah, I don't know if he's throwing too many all-speed pitches here, but he's got to find that strike zone. And the 3-1, and that's right there for a strike. Belt high, 3 balls and 2 strikes. 1 strikeout and 1 walk so far for Griffith. And a 3-2, that's up and away. Walked him on a full count.
Draws the walk.
Well, Griffith began the bottom of the first striking out Mercado.
To Rafael Delgado.
Is Rafael Delgado to the plate. The Beat Diggers at double play depth with Cox and Wellen, the second baseman and shortstop respectively. 2-step lead at first and a pitch. Swung on and fouled straight back. Count is at no balls and 1 strike. The RBI single by De Herrera is brought to you by Western Engineering Consultants, providing civil engineering services for aviation, municipal, commercial, residential clients as well in Colorado. Invested and involved in the communities they work in. Western Engineering Consultants. The pitch is a strike. Again, a changeup on the outside corner. It's 0-2. Bottom of the second inning. Valley 2, Brush 1. The Beat Diggers were state runner-ups 3 years ago. Valley won it last year. So rich history here for both teams. The offering swung on and driven in the air into shallow left center field. Coming in is Carson Rule. And then it's caught by the left fielder Brown as the two converged in the gap, and Brown had a better angle, and he puts it away for the out.
Rafael drives one to left center. It is
Nice closing speed there by the senior Ben Brown, and there's 1 down. And back to first is Stotts.
That'll bring us back to the top of the lineup for the Vikings. Number 10, Jose Mercado.
Here's Mercado, struck out looking on a 3-2 pitch to begin the bottom of the first inning. That's a pretty decent lead over there for Ty Stotts, about 3 steps. Let's see if Griffith throws over there. Nope. Comes home and the pitch is upstairs. 1 ball and no strikes. Brush began the season 1 year ago, rallying to beat Valley at home 10-9 on De Herrera's walk-off single. Then Mercado pitched a great game here in a 5-0 victory on a Saturday as they evened the season series. High again, 2 balls and no strikes. In fact, the Beat Diggers were 1-1 last year against the 2 teams that went to the finals, Valley and Eaton. 2 balls and no strikes, 1 on, 1 out. Valley with a 2-1 lead in the second. Mercado awaits, and he takes a changeup for a strike. Belt high, it's 2-1. Yeah, the Beat Diggers are certainly very familiar with all these opponents that they're playing, even out of conference, like Weld Central and Kent Denver. Swung on and fouled off to the right and out of play. And the count is at 2-2. Here to Jose Mercado. Mercado is also Spanish for market. Not that that matters, unless they call him Joe Market. The stretch. 2 balls and 2 strikes. And the offering. Swung on and grounded right side, and Caleb Cox dives to his left, but it's a base hit into right field.
Through the infield.
And advancing to second is Stotts. And Valley has their
That'll bring up
3rd hit of the game.
Kyle Bull.
Bull doubled and scored in the first. He hit that ball into the left center field gap that Carson Rule dove for and got a glove on, but it deflected off his glove, and Bull was able to get 2 bases out of it. Again, the Beat Diggers at double play depth up the middle. The stretch by the senior Griffith. And he comes home squaring to bunt, and he lays it down beautifully up the third base side, and he's got to let it roll foul. Nice play by Griffith. If he picks it up, he's got absolutely no play, so that was the only option he had. Either give him the base hit or hope the ball rolls foul, and that's what he did there. So it's just one strike there to Kyle Bowl. The Bee Diggers defeated Valley this year in football, also beat them in basketball, and so they're looking for the sweep here, although they'll play him again in baseball. And a pitch, and that's down and away with the off-speed. Count levels at 1 ball and 1 strike. 2-1 Valley, bottom of the second inning. Find out why Morgan Community College is the best choice for your higher education. Visit MCC online at morgancc.edu. Griffith comes home. That is a ball just a little bit high, man. That didn't miss by much. 2 balls and 1 strike. Pretty tall left-handed hitter. Certainly could have gone either way. The runners take their leads. Stotts at second, Mercado at first. And the pitch, and that's inside. Nearly clipped him. It's 3-1. And now Griffith in a world of trouble. Approaching 50 pitches already. Just 3 shy of that, and we're only in the second. 3 balls and 1 strike. And the pitch. Swung on line towards left field. Brown is going to have to play it on 1 hop. And the runners will advance 1 base at a time there.
For a single.
So it's a base hit for Kyle Bowl. He's now 2 for 2. And Valley threatening big time now in the bottom of the second inning.
And bring up number 5,
Tyler Kistler. He reached on an error by the shortstop Wellen in the first inning. The third baseman, D. Herrera, playing on the edge of the grass. Middle infield is back. The stretch by Griffith. And the offering. Swung on in line towards right center field. That's going to drop for a base hit. 1 run is going to score. Mercado's being sent home, and he's going to score as well. And the third is Kyle Bowl. It's a 2-run single for Tyler Kistler. And Valley now leads by a score of 4-1.
Vikings now leading.
And that was just placed in the perfect spot. And here comes Coach Fergus. And with that visit, let's get you to a fresh segment here on a moment in Brush Bee Digger baseball history. The Bee Diggers in 2008 would make it to the state semifinals, a year in which Brush was a low seed. They were a 19 seed. We'll have many of those segments coming up throughout the course of the baseball season. Here's Ivan Rodriguez, who had an RBI single in the first inning. Valley has equaled their total of the first, now up 4-1 with runners at the corners. And still only 1 out. Bowl at third, Kistler at first. The stretch by Justin Griffith. And the pitch. And the curveball is grounded foul up the third base side. Valley's got 5 hits. I mean, this was the strength of their team last year. And then the pitching got stronger. And this is good for Brush because you want to face the very best at the beginning of the season, know exactly what you have and what you have to work with and work on. No balls and 1 strike. And the offering. And the curveball stays high. 1 ball, 1 strike. Another visit from Fergus in this inning would summon Griffith out of the game. So he's already got 1 in this frame. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out, 2 on. Changeup is swung on and fouled off to the right. Count moves to 1-2 here for Ivan Rodriguez, the cleanup hitter in this Valley lineup. Griffith at the belt, the pitch. Curveball is high. When Valley won the state title in 2017, that was their first championship in baseball in 34 years. They actually had a run from 78 to 80. Or they were, it might have been 80 to 80. I got to check that. The pitch. And that ball hit him. Fastball tailing inside, and Rodriguez was plunked by the pitch. And now the bases are loaded for the left-handed hitting Dominic Triana, who hit into a 4-6 fielder's choice his first time up.
Triana.
And the courtesy runner at second for Valley will be Jesus Villalobos.
Get a courtesy runner for Kistler.
And here's Triana.
Number 8, Jesus Villalobos.
With the bases loaded, critical juncture, and Griffith will operate out of the windup. And the pitch. That's a strike right there on the outer half, belt high. No balls and 1 strike. 31 strikes, 24 balls for Griffith, but he's walked a couple of batters and just hit a batter. The pitch swung on. That ball is lined down the left side, and Brown to his right is going to make the catch in foul territory. As that ball was twisting away, Ball will score. It'll go as a sac fly by Triana, but an excellent play by Ben Brown. Valley's plated 3 here in the second. It's 5-1. Yeah, the B-Diggers needed an out any way they could get it.
Triana sac fly brings in Kyle Bowl.
So 5-1.
Now the Vikings leading 5-1. Now up for the Vikings, number 4.
Other runners held.
Armando Perez.
And the first pitch is a strike. Perez walked his first time up. The stretch with runners at first and second, 2 down in the second. And the offering. Change up in the dirt, scooped up nicely there by Colin Cole, and the count levels at 1-1. B-Diggers had the early lead on Isaac D. Herrera's RBI single, but Valley scored 5 unanswered runs with 2 in the first and 3 so far in the second. Hopefully the B-Diggers can keep it right here. The pitch, and that's up and away. Pitch number 59 there for the senior Justin Griffith. Two balls and 1 strike. Runners take their leads. And the pitch. And that is, boy, just a little bit inside. Throw him a change up there. It's 3-1. Blake Schuerman is on deck. At second is Villalobos. Rodriguez at first. Awaiting is Servando Perez. And the pitch. And that is inside on the changeup. And it's a walk issued by Griffith. And here comes Schuerman. This could be a game changer right now.
The courtesy runner for Servando. Number 17, Josiah Mudro. Now up for the Vikings. Number 16, Blake Schuerman.
Here's Schuerman. Schuerman hit that little flare that Cox caught to end the first inning. This is the 9th hitter of this inning. And the pitch. Changeup is just a little bit low. 1 ball and no strikes. Josiah Mudro, the courtesy runner at first. And the offering. Boy, up and away. He's losing control here. 2-0. 33 strikes and 30 balls thrown by Griffith. This could very well be his last hitter, unless he can get Schuerman out. Villalobos at third. Rodriguez at second. Mudro at first. And the offering. Swung on and lined into right field for a base hit. That's going to score Villalobos. Rodriguez is around third, and he will step on home plate as well. And Valley now leads by a score of 7-1 on the 2-run single from Blake Schuerman.
In the bottom of the second.
So that extends the inning as advancing to third was Mudro. Ty Stotts is the 10th hitter of the inning. He began the frame with a walk.
Ty Stotts.
And the pitch. And that's a strike with a changeup. Right down the middle, it's 0-1. Valley has played at 5 in this frame. Conservative lead for Schuerman at first. Now about 3 steps. Let's see if he takes off. He does not. Swung on and grounded up the middle, headed for center field. Cox dives. It's a base hit. Mudro scores. To second is Schuerman. It's an RBI single for Ty Stotts. And Valley has played at 6 in the bottom of the second inning. And they now lead the B-Diggers in Gilchrist 8-1. And that'll be it on the hill for Justin Griffith. B-Digger pitching change is brought to you by State Farm Insurance. When you're looking for someone to walk you through the insurance world, turn to the office of Greg Mullen and Brush, 842-4555, Home Auto, Life and Health. We're in the bottom of the second inning. And Valley is holding an 8-1 lead on 1010 KSIR. and KSIR.com. Bryson Wooldridge is the new pitcher as Wooldridge, the left-hander, will be facing Rafael Delgado. Valley has plated 6 here in the bottom of the second inning. They lead Brush at home 8-1.
After the pitching change, coming in for the Beat Diggers, number 1, Bryson Wooldridge. Griffith goes to center, Rule goes to right. Now up for the number
Excuse me.
2, Rafael
And the pitch
Delgado
is upstairs. Justin Griffith will now be in center field. Carson Rule moves to right. And the offering. Swing and a miss through the fastball right by Delgado, who popped up to the left fielder Brown his first time up. This is the 11th hitter of the inning. The pitch upstairs. That's sidewinding fastball. Ball 2, strike 1 from the left-hander Bryson Wooldridge. Cargill Meat Solutions, committed to feeding the world in a responsible way by reducing environmental impact. They're at Cargill.com. And the offering swung on and lifted foul, out of play off to the right. And the count moves to 2-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 on, 2 out. The Beat Diggers are looking to stop the bleeding here in the second. Bryson delivers. Swung on and fouled off the catcher. No, it made contact there. And taking off was Delgado to first, but it sounded like it had a piece of the baseball, then it wasn't strictly off of Cole's glove. This is the number 9 hitter in the lineup, so they batted around already twice in this game. Not per inning, but the pitch. Swing and a miss and a fastball up and away. And Bryson Wooldridge strikes out Rafael Delgado. Valley, though, scores 6 runs on 5 hits, no errors, and 2 men left. Let's head to the third with the score in Gilchrist. Valley 8 and the Brush Beat Diggers 1 on 1010 KSIR and KSIR.com. Let's head to the third inning, where the Beat Diggers trail the Valley Vikings by a score of 8-1. It's been rough for Brush. I mean, just based on that score alone. 2 runs in the first and 6 in the second for Valley.
Off the top of the third for the Beat Diggers.
And here comes Colin Cole, followed by Justin Griffith and Ben Brown. And the right-hander Kistler. And the pitch is swung on, grounded slowly up the first base side. Second baseman Triana to his left, flips to first, and that's going to be late. Boy, a nice job getting down the line there by Cole, and he beats it out. And the Beat Diggers need that and a lot more.
First, that'll bring us back to the top of the lineup.
And here comes Justin Griffith.
Number 2, Justin Griffith.
Can I have a seat there, Jack?
And Griffith steps in. He walked to begin the game, the stretch. And the pitch. That's a fastball a little bit outside. Might have taken something off it. It's 1-0. Valley with 8 runs on 7 hits. The Beat Diggers 1 run on 3 hits. Brush has the game's only error. Short lead at first there for Cole. Throw back to first. He's back in diving. Make Stubbs Gas and Oil your next stop heading out of town. You can gas up your vehicle, sit down to lunch, get snacks, and your hunting and fishing license is Stubbs Gas and Oil in Wiggins. And the offering. And that is up and away. Well, the one thing Griffith has always had is a very good eye. He's not going to go fishing for anything. 2 balls and no strikes. And the Beat Diggers can generate some offense. We could be in for a lengthy game. And the offering. Swing and a miss through the fastball right by Griffith. Ball 2, strike 1 to the senior center fielder who began the game on the mound. With an open stance for the left side. Cole off of first, about a 2-step advantage. And the pitch. Swing and a miss. Same pitch, same result. 2-2. Valley's already turned a double play in this game, but not easy to turn one on Griffith. He's got speed, and he's also hitting out of the left side. And the offering. Swung on and grounded. Over the third base bag. No, just foul. Boy, that barely missed. Oh, that missed by maybe an inch plus. Very close to being fair as Griffith just stuck out his bat. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Justin Griffith. Again, a short lead for Colin Cole. And Kistler delivers in the dirt, skips away, and Cole to second. Threw him a changeup there, and it bounced in to the catcher Perez. And now the Bee Diggers have a little bit of a threat going here in the third inning.
Second on the wild pitch.
Remember last year the Bee Diggers had the lead with Ryan Dunker on the mound. Then they fell behind and rallied to win 10-9. The pitch, and that's upstairs. It's a walk to Griffith. Second time he's been walked in the game.
Griffith draws the walk to bring runners to first and second for the Bee Diggers.
And that'll bring up
number 6, Ben Brown.
Ben Brown, the left fielder, struck out his first time. Let's see how Brush plays it. They just need a run here and there to get back into the game. Swing and a miss on a ball at the letters. Well, he took a really hard swing at that one. It's 0-1. It looked like he was out in front. Off of second is Cole. Griffith at first. 8-1 Valley, top of the third inning in Gilchrist. And the pitch. And the breaking ball is down and away. Levels the count at 1-1. With the number 3 hitter in the lineup, Caleb Cox on deck. And the offering. Swing and a miss. Boy, that was ball 2. That was up and in, and he went fishing for it. Brown behind in the count at 1-2. Perez lays down the sign, and the offering swung on and lifted in the infield. That should be an infield fly. The shortstop, Mercado, to his right, makes the catch, and it was the infield fly. There's one down. One down for Cox.
Jose brings in the infield fly for the first out of the inning.
Cox hit that slow roller to the pitcher, who had to make a nice underhand stab there and was able to retire the Bee Diggers second baseman. And the pitch swung on and lifted foul, out of play down the left side. No balls and 1 strike. 2 on, 1 out, top of the third. The Bee Diggers scored the first run of the game on Isaac D. Herrera's RBI single, but Valley's come back in a big way. 2 in the first, 6 in the second. And the runners off the bags. And the pitch up and away. 1 ball, 1 strike. The Bee Diggers in their maroon jerseys with the gray pants. And the offering. Swung on. That's lined into the left center field gap. That's going to be trouble. And for some reason, holding up at second was Cole. He lost the baseball. He's going to round third. And right behind him is Justin Griffith headed towards the plate. And Griffith is going to be in there right behind Cole. And back to second and out. Out at second over there is Cox, but it's still a 2-run double. And the Bee Diggers make it an 8-3 game. But the Bee Diggers did not run the bases well there. Cole got lost and then Cox got thrown out, but they still at least played a couple of runs. And so there were positives and negatives on that one play. Yeah, Cox, I think, thought the baseball was going to get away. So it's 8-3. And the pitch and the breaking ball is in the dirt to D. Herrera. That's a big momentum stopper there, but a nice shot there by Cox. And the pitch swung on and lifted foul and off to the right and out of play. Yeah, I'm not sure. I don't know if Colin was just looking at Coach Fergus at third, but that ball clearly off the bat was not going to be caught. It was well into the left center field gap, and he went back to second. And the pitch, and that's upstairs, and the count moves to 2 balls and 1 strike. Pitch number 50 for Kistler. The Bee Diggers have plated 2 in the frame. And the offering. Swing and a miss and a bender down and away. Count levels at 2-2. Kistler gets the sign and fires. Curveball swung on, grounded up the middle, and Triana to his right. Gloves, throws off balance and offline. And the ball is headed towards the dugout. I think it did get into the dugout. I mean, it would have been a tough play. We'll call it a single and an error because that was a tough sidewinding throw. But
Herrera gets the first on a single and then moves up.
The throwing error by Triana is Valley's first error of the game.
Dominic.
And here is Nick Wellen.
Number 21, Nick Wellen.
Wellen grounded into a 4-6 fielder's choice in his first time up. And a pitch. Fastball is upstairs. 1 ball and no strikes. We're just past the top of the hour in Gilcrest. This is 1010 KSIR, Brush, Fort Morgan, Otis, as well as KSIR.com. And the pitch. Up and away again. 2 balls and no strikes to Nick Wellen. Off of second is De Herrera. The Bee Diggers do have 5 hits in the game, so they've been making contact. That pitch is inside. 3-0. I mean, if you don't win this game, obviously you want to be competitive, and Brush is doing that right now. Staging a mini comeback here in the 3rd inning, but they've got to do it defensively as well. The pitch. That's a strike. Took something off it on the inside corner. 3 balls and 1 strike to the sophomore shortstop, Nick Wellen. Off of second is De Herrera. And the pitch. That's upstairs, and it's another walk. Issued by Tyler Kistler.
Bring runners to first and second for number 24, Carson Rule.
Well, there's no doubt that both starting pitchers have struggled with their control. And for Tyler Kistler, that's the 3rd walk he's issued. He struck out 2. And Coach Steve Kistler out to the mound. Bee Diggers and Ken Denver Sun Devils Thursday at 4 o'clock right here on 1010 as well as KSIR.com. You need your vehicle and farm equipment to be in top shape. Make sure you take care of them by purchasing the best quality parts at great prices. That's your local Napa store, Central Auto Parts in Fort Morgan. Well, we're not even midway through the 3rd. We played over an hour. And Carson Rule, who got a base hit down the right field line, will step into the batter's box for the Bee Diggers. Brush has an RBI single in the 1st from De Herrera, a 2-run double here in the 3rd from Caleb Cox. And Valley, of course, has a host of hits in this game. And the pitch. Ooh, that ball, did it hit him? Yep, it did. Might have got him around the left leg. And the bases are loaded. This could be a game changer for the Bee Diggers if they can come through.
That'll load the bases and bring up number 23, Ryan Dunker.
So Ryan Dunker will now step in for the Bee Diggers. With the bases loaded and 2 down, Dunker hit into a 6-4-3 double play, his first time up, and the pitch. Swung on. That ball is driven in the air to right field. To his left is Delgado, and he can't make the catch! And the ball gets away, and 3 runs are going to score. Here comes Carson Rule around, and Dunker to 3rd. And the Bee Diggers all of a sudden make this an 8-6 game. We're going to score that a straight-up triple. I'm not sure Delgado saw it.
Bases clearing triple to right field.
And Ryan Dunker has come through for the Bee Diggers, clearing the bases on a 3-bagger. And it's a brand new ball game with Brush only down by 2.
Score now to 8-6.
So they have an RBI hit, a 2-run hit, and now a 3-run hit. Here's Jade Queen. And the pitch. And that's upstairs. Queen struck out swinging his first time up.
The Bee Diggers, Gunnar Guzman.
Yeah, that ball had some major line to it, but I thought Delgado might have been able to range under it, and he lunged at the baseball, and he couldn't get it. And the offering. And the curveball is inside. It's 2-0. 61 pitches thrown by Kistler. He struggled in this frame as the Bee Diggers have tagged him for 5 runs. And the offering. Swing and foul tipped off the catcher. Ball 2, strike 1. Well, if you're going to play baseball, you might as well play a long time, and that's what the Bee Diggers are looking at right now. And it looked like they were in big trouble in this game, and they were. The pitch. And that is right there for a strike. Took something off it. On the inner half at the knees, it's 2-2. Off of third is Ryan Dunker. He cleared the bases with a triple. Jade Queen awaits. Wind and pitch. Curveball. It bounces. He fouled it off. Boy, he swung at a pitch that was almost in the dirt. And it almost looked like it bounced in there. Count remains at 2-2 to Jade Queen. And Kistler is out of the windup here with a man at third. And the offering. Curveball. That's a called strike 3 on a pitch that looked like it was low. Oh, boy, that looked low from here. But the Bee Diggers played 5 runs on 4 hits. There was 1 error and a man left. They get a 2-run double from Caleb Cox. And a 3-run triple from Ryan Dunker. Let's head to the bottom of the 3rd inning with the score. Valley 8 and the Brush Bee Diggers 6 right here on 1010 KSIR and KSIR.com. It's a brand new ball game in Gilchrist. The Bee Diggers now trail the Valley Vikings 8-6. And Isaac D. Herrera is the new pitcher for Brush. Gunnar Guzman goes to third. Actually enters the game now at third for the Bee Diggers. But let's see what pitching the Bee Diggers get. They'll be facing the top of the lineup here. Jose Mercado, Kyle Boll, and Tyler Kistler. Man, this line score is all over the place. 8 runs on 7 hits for Valley, 6 runs on 6 hits for Brush. Both teams have committed an error. Valley has stranded 4, and the Bee Diggers have stranded 2.
Number 10, Jose Mercado.
Mercado struck out looking and singled. And the pitch upstairs looked like tried to throw him a changeup. Slowed down his arm motion completely there, so a little bit telegraphed. 1 ball and no strikes. And the offering. Swing and a miss. Man, he's really taking a lot off that pitch. And the count is at 1-1. And a pitch. And that is just a tad high. Yeah, lots of off speed here for D. Herrera. 2 balls and 1 strike. Swung on and fisted foul and out of play behind the screen. Count moves to 2-2. Here to the leadoff hitter, Mercado. In the bottom of the 3rd inning, Valley had an 8-1 lead, but the Bee Diggers have played it the last 5. The pitch. Swung on in line towards right field. Coming on is Wooldridge. Or check that, that's Rule, excuse me. And it's a base hit. Got confused, one lefty for the other. It's a base hit by Mercado.
Jose drives one to right field for a single.
Game number 1 for me as well. I should know better. All right, Kyle Boll has been red hot here for Valley. Boll is 2 for 2. And he scored a couple of runs. Woolridge did pitch a third of an inning, and Bryson Wooldridge was able to strike out the number 9 hitter, Rafael Delgado. And I don't know what happened there. It must have been a balk.
Delgado gets to second on a balk.
Yeah, it was a balk. Didn't even see what happened there with D. Herrera, but nonetheless a runner in scoring position. And Kyle Boll from the left side stepping in. I mean, this has the makings of nearly a 3-hour game, and that changeup is a strike, belt high, unless one of these teams can get on a roll with their pitching. No balls and 1 strike. 14 runs already through 2.5 innings. And the offering, that's upstairs. And outside, the count levels at 1-1. Might be able to get through all the sponsors here. 1 ball, 1 strike. And the pitch. Up and away. Again, throwing all speed after all speed. 2 balls, 1 strike. Here to Kyle Boll in the bottom of the 3rd inning. And the Bee Diggers trailing by only 2. Off of second is Mercado. The pitch swung on and lifted foul. Gunnar Guzman giving chase, but it's out of play. Count draws to 2-2. This is the number 2 hitter in the lineup, so the Bee Diggers are going to have to face the heart of the order here in the bottom of the 3rd inning, as they have done in the previous 2. Looking back, and the pitch swung on and lifted it into the left center field gap. Ben Brown is right there, and he makes the catch for the out. Back to second is Mercado, and there's one down. Just pitch to contact. You've got a solid outfield there. And that'll bring up Tyler Kistler, who reached on an error and singled.
Ball flies out to left
And
for the first out of the inning. Now up for the Vikings, number 5, Tyler.
his single drove in a couple of runs. Righty against righty. De Herrera delivers. And that changeup is a strike on the outer half. It's 0-1. Right around belt level. De Herrera looks in for the side. Cole sets up at the inside corner. Swung on, grounded left side, base hit. And rounding third is Mercado. They're going to send it to the plate. The throw is going to go all the way through. It's high and all the way to the screen. And now rounding second is Tyler Kistler, headed for third. And it's 9-6. It'll be an RBI single for Kistler. A throwing error by Brown, allowing the runner to get to third, not to second. He was going to go to second anyway.
Kistler gets to third on the throw. That run will bring
now 9-6. Here's Rodriguez.
6. Now up.
Drove in a run with a base hit.
Ivan Rodriguez.
Hit by a pitch. And that bounces in. 1 ball and no strikes. That's the problem. Can the Bee Diggers stop this team? It's an offensive powerhouse for Valley. The Vikings have picked up 9 hits already. And the pitch swung on and fisted in the air. And the shortstop going out well and dives. And did he make the catch? He did. Now he's going to throw off balance with his glove off his hand, and scoring is going to be Tyler Kistler. It'll go as a sac fly, but a great play by Wellen. That's the second outstanding play. A Bee Digger infield. Did he leave too early? I think he left too early. Yep, it's going to be a double play. It'll be a double play. And only 1 run scores for Valley. Apparently he did not tag up. I think that's what they're clarifying out there, that the runner Kistler did not tag. And he's going to be called out at third. So the Bee Diggers get out of that with minimal damage. 1 run on 2 hits, 1 error, and nobody left. Let's go to the 4th inning after the break with the score. It's a ball game here in Gilchrist. The Valley Vikings 9 and the Brush Bee Diggers 6. This is 1010 KSIR and KSIR.com. Let's move to the 4th inning. We got a heck of a ball game going on. We've seen a little bit of everything. A couple of balks hit by pitches, errors, clutch base hits, nice defensive plays. And Brush is only down here by 3. 9-6. Excuse me, boy. New pitcher's Jacob Miles. And Miles will face Colin Cole, Justin Griffith, and Ben Brown. Let's see if other changes are made here. Yeah, the team that can establish some momentum on the hill will win this game. Another right-handed pitcher. The Bee Diggers have used 3 pitchers already, and the starter Griffith, Bryson Wooldridge for a third of an inning, and then Isaac De Herrera, who allowed a run in the bottom of the 3rd. Well, it looks like maybe Kistler's behind the plate.
Number 5, Colin Cole.
And Servando Perez in left. That's what we're looking at. Wind and pitch. And that fastball is outside. Colin Cole reached on an infield single in the 2nd. And the right-hander Miles delivers. Fastball is inside. 2 balls and no strikes. Bee Diggers came right back, down by 7. And that bounces to the screen. Well, Miles looked pretty good warming up, but, you know, you stick a hitter in there, it's a different ball game. It's not that easy. When you need ice, don't settle for any old frozen water. Get AC Ice at any local grocery or convenience store near you. Took something off it. That's down the middle at the knees for a strike. 3 balls and 1 strike to the opening hitter at the top of the 4th inning, Colin Cole. Miles now out of the stretch, and the pitch. Swung on and grounded up the middle. The shortstop, Mercado, charges, throws on the run for the out. And there's one down in the top of the 4th as Jose Mercado makes the play for Valley.
Throws him out at first for the first out of the inning. Now up number 2, Justin Griffith.
Justin Griffith has walked twice. The left-hander with an open stance awaits the pitch, and here it is. And that tails away on the off-speed. It's 1-0 from Jacob Miles. The only half inning a team did not score was the Bee Diggers in the top of the 2nd, and the offering. And that bounces in. 2 balls and no strikes. We'll have the Avalanche and Minnesota Wild coming up at 6:30 on KSIR following this game. 2 balls and no strikes to Justin Griffith. And the offering. Up and away. Man, they can't pitch to this guy. I don't know if Griffith has seen more than 1 strike in these 3 plate appearances. He'll be taking here on the 3-0. Oh, he grooves it in there for a strike. He's doing the same thing with Griffith as he did with Colin Cole, but let's see if Justin can draw his 3rd consecutive walk. And the 3-1. Swung on and fouled back. 3 balls and 2 strikes to the senior center fielder, Justin Griffith. 9-6 Valley here in the top of the 4th inning. In Gilchrist, the offering. Swung on and grounded towards right field. Nice play by the first baseman and covering the pitcher, and I believe the ball got away. It did. Griffith is going to beat it out. Yeah, Blake Schumann threw to the pitcher, Miles covering. He was late to the bag, and we will give Griffith a base hit. Yeah, wide of the bag is where Griffith fielded that.
Griffith beats out the toss to the pitcher at first for a single.
And that'll send up Ben Brown.
6, Ben Brown.
Brown struck out and popped out. He's 0 for 2. And the offering. And that is a strike. Took something out off of that, I should say, on the outer half. 0-1 to Double B. Looking in his Miles in the pitch. And the curveball is just up and in. Pretty good pitch there thrown by Miles, but the count levels at 1-1. See Pete's Farmers Cooperative for all your propane, fuel, and farm needs. In business since 1950. Throw back to first, back in standing as Griffith, who's been on base all 3 times. Yeah, Miles gets there earlier. There's a shot. They get Griffith the pitch. That's right there. Took something off it. And it's a strike, 1-2. Again, a nice change up there thrown by Miles. 9-6 Valley. We're in the top of the 4th inning in Gilchrist. 2-step lead for Griffith. And the pitch. And that is a little bit high. Nice eye there by Ben Brown. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Kistler lays down the sign. And the offering. Down and away. It is 3-2. So back to first, back in diving over there is Griffith. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out, 1 on. The Vikings up by 3 in the 4th inning. Griffith stays. Swing and a miss on a fastball away, and Ben Brown strikes out for the 2nd time in the game.
For the 2nd out of the inning. Now up for the Bee Diggers, number 20.
Caleb Cox grounded out and double, driving in 2 runs. He now bats for the Bee Diggers. And the offering. And the breaking ball's a strike. On the inner half, it's 0-1 to the Bee Diggers' second baseman, a senior. Griffith off of first, a very short lead. And Miles comes home. Swung on and grounded right side to the second baseman, Triana. And he fields, fires to first, and that'll do it for the Bee Diggers here in the top of the 4th inning.
Triana fields the
Bee Diggers do not score.
first for the third.
Brush picks up one base hit, no errors,
We'll go
and a
to
man
the
left.
fourth. Valley leading.
3.5 completes in Gilchrist with the score. Valley 9 and the Beat Diggers 6 on 1010 KSIR and KSIR.com. 9-6 Valley leads Brush. It's into the bottom of the fourth inning.
Leading off for the Vikings, number 1, Dominic Triana.
The Vikings will send up the second baseman Dominic Triana, followed by Servando Perez and Blake Schuerman. 5, 6, and 7 here against Isaac De Herrera. Beginning his second inning of work on the mound. Allowed a run there in the third. And I wonder if the umpire took a shot there off. He's getting bandaged, or that's just part of his normal equipment. I don't know, but he's getting treated over there with something on his left forearm. Beat Diggers and Ken Denver Sun Devils will play on Thursday at 4 o'clock. 11 a.m. make it 10 a.m. I should say on Saturday against Weld Central. Those are road games right here on KSIR, as well as KSIR.com. And here we go to begin the bottom of the fourth inning with Triana. Dominic Triana has hit into a fielder's choice and a sac fly, and the changeup is up and away. 1 ball and no strikes. The Beat Diggers have 7 hits. The Vikings have 9. And the pitch swung on in line down the right field line. That is trouble. That one's headed all the way for the fence. It could be 3 bases. Triana's around first. He's headed towards second. He's going to round second, taking off for third. The throw to third, and he slides, and he's in there. It's a leadoff triple for Dominic Triana, his first hit of the game. And that'll send up Servando Perez.
Slides in safely at third with a triple. That'll bring up.
And that ball is just twisting into foul territory.
Perez.
Perez has walked twice. So he has the same line as Justin Griffith following his first 2 plate appearances. The wind and pitch. Change up, a strike on the inside corner just below belt level. It's 0-1. Schuerman on deck, followed by Ty Stotts. And the offering. Swung on and fisted into left field over the lunging Gunnar Guzman for a base hit. Dominic Triana scores on the Servando Perez RBI single. And it's 10-6 Valley, and they have scored in every inning. 2 in the first, 6 in the second, 1 in the third, 1 here in the fourth. And still nobody out for Schuerman.
Number 16, Blake Schuerman.
Schuerman popped out and hit a 2-run single in the 6-run second. And the offering upstairs. 1 ball and no strikes. Yeah, the Beat Diggers really don't have a pitcher that's going to blow you away consistently. Lots of all-speed stuff from Dunker, from De Herrera, from Griffith. Swung on and grounded slowly to third. Guzman backs up. Fields throws to second, and that is in time. Nice job of Cox keeping his foot on the bag. And a good play there by Gunnar Guzman on the fielder's choice. There's 1 down.
Guzman fields the grounder at third. Gets the runner at second for the fielder's choice.
1 down for Ty Stotts, who walked and drove in a run with a base hit.
Number 25, Ty Stotts.
If you can somehow get this guy to hit into a double play, you're only down by 4. And then the number 9 hitter comes up. That's a huge lead for Schuerman. Throw back to first, and back in diving is Schuerman at first base. He might be taking off with that type of lead. Valley has yet to steal a base, neither of the Beat Diggers. The stretch by De Herrera, and the offering. Changeup is up and away. 1 ball and no strikes. Yeah, the only thing De Herrera is struggling with a little bit is his location. A lot of those changeups are up. And the offering. And that is a beauty on the outside corner. Couldn't have thrown that any better for a strike. 1 ball and 1 strike to Ty Stotts. 10-6 Valley, bottom of the fourth inning. Schuerman off of first. And the pitch. That's a beauty right there on the outer half for a strike again. 1-2. Stotza waits. And the pitch. Swung on and fouled off to the right, not a play. Count remains at 1-2 1 on, 1 out. Bottom of the 4th inning. In Gilchrist, De Herrera steps off. Wind is picking up here, which means the temperature is dropping a bit here at 5:30. And the offering, and that is a little bit low and away. Man, he's pulling the string nicely. Looks like De Herrera is controlling that changeup that much better right now. 2-2. Huge lead for Schuerman. Swung on, lifted deep into right center field, going way back towards the track is Rule, and he makes the catch. Actually had some space out there. That ball kind of died. I thought he was going to have to run even further out. But Carson Rule makes the play for the second out.
Caught by the right fielder
Retreating to first is Schuerman. 2 down for Delgado.
for the second out of the inning. Now up for the Vikings, number 2, Rafael Delgado.
Delgado is popped to short and struck out. Go back to first, back in diving. I'm surprised Schuerman hasn't taken off. He's had huge leads, and you got a change-up pitcher, so the ball's not going to get to the plate as fast. He might be taking off here with 2 down. And the offering. Swung on and fouled well off to the right, not a play. No balls and 1 strike. Follow us on Twitter at KSIR Sports. You can follow this game pitch by pitch. We have a link up there on Twitter at KSIR Sports, as well as the 1010 KSIR Sports Facebook page. And we have a balk, the 3rd balk called against the Bee Diggers. De Herrera did not come to a stop there.
Sherman gets to second on the balk.
And now a runner in scoring position with 2 down. No balls and 1 strike to Delgado. And the offering. Up and away. Count leveled at 1-1. Here to Rafael Delgado. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 on, 2 down. Cole lays down the sign. And a pitch. Outside. 2 balls and 1 strike. The Rockies begin the regular season in 16 days against the Arizona Diamondbacks in Arizona, where they ended the 2017 season. That is on the outside corner, a beauty. 2-2. Spotted very nicely there by Isaac De Herrera. The stretch. And the pitch. Swung on and fouled off to the right, again out of play. I mean, you sense the Bee Diggers have a chance in this game if they can just keep it at a 4-run game. You don't want to be down by 6 or 7 again. They were down 8-1 going into the 3rd when they played at 5 runs. Getting a 2-run double from Cox and a bases-clearing triple from Dunker. Swung on and chopped right back to the mound. De Herrera throws to first and records the out. And Valley produces minimal damage here in the 4th inning. 1 run on 2 hits. No errors. And a Valley Viking left in scoring position. Let's head to the 5th inning after the break. From Gilchrist, it's Valley 10, Brush 6 on 1010 KSIR and KSIR.com. Valley leads Brush 10-6 here in the 5th inning.
Leading off the top of the 5th for the
Jacob Miles beginning his 2nd inning on the hill.
De Herrera.
He'll face Isaac De Herrera. He's got 2 base hits, including an RBI, and the breaking ball is inside, nearly clipped him, and he got out of the way. 1 ball and no strikes. 4, 5, and 6 for the Bee Diggers in the 5th inning. The right-hander Miles comes home, and that's down and away with a fastball. 2 balls and no strikes. Brush scored the first run. Valley scored the next 8. The Bee Diggers the next 5. Valley the last 2. Way outside.
Hey, we need base runners, kid.
And this pitcher, Miles, has fallen behind quite a few hitters since he came into the game. But he did not allow a run in the 4th inning, and then he's thrown 3-0 strikes every time, including that one. 3 balls and 1 strike. Here's the stretch and the offering, and that is outside. And it's a walk to De Herrera. Didn't sell it that well, but he's on. That was framed by Kistler, but definitely outside. Here is Nick Wellen,
21, Nick Wellen,
who reached on a fielder's choice and walked. He's 0 for 1. De Herrera has a minuscule lead at first. Now it's about a step and a half. The stretch. And the offering. Swung on and grounded up the middle. Could be two. Mercado flips to second for one. No throw to first. Yeah, the ball is out in front of the bag.
Flips to second.
And there's one down.
The fielder's choice. Now up for the Beat Diggers, number 20.
Here's Carson Rule. He singled and was hit by a pitch. Rule officially at 1 for 1. Began the game in center, now in right field. And the throw back to first, Wellen back in diving. Nick Wellen's got some speed out there. But the Beat Diggers are down by 4. They'll have to be careful on the bases. And the pitch. That's a strike. On the off-speed pitch on the outside half, it's 0-1. No balls and 1 strike. And the pitch. And that one bounces in on the changeup. Nice block by Kistler. Count levels at 1 ball and 1 strike. One ball, 1 strike, the pitch, and that one bounces away to the screen. And into second there is Wellen on the wild pitch.
Wellen gets a second on the wild pitch.
So the Beat Diggers with a shot to score here in the 5th inning, trailing 10-6. It's 2-1 to Rule, and the offering way outside. Yeah, let's see what Miles has done in this game, man. He's got more balls than strikes, 16 balls and 13 strikes. That's part of the issue. He's fallen behind a lot of these hitters. And the offering, and that's up and in. It's a walk. Wellen has walked for the second time. Make it Rule, I should say. Wellen's at second base.
First and second for.
Well, the tying run is all of a sudden on deck here in the 5th inning. Ryan Dunker's grounded out and cleared the bases with a triple. Here's the stretch and the offering. And the curveball is upstairs. 1 ball and no strikes. Here to Ryan Dunker. And the pitch. Swung on and grounded to second. Triana backs up, flips to second for 1, and then dropping the baseball was Mercado. So he had a chance to turn a double play, but it's going to be an out at second on the fielder's choice, 4-6. And let's see if the Beat Diggers can make Valley pay, because that looked like it was going to be an easy double play as hard as that ball was hit.
Gets the first on the fielder's choice. Triana fields it, tosses it to Mercado.
Here is Gunnar Guzman hitting for the first time in the game.
14, Gunnar Guzman.
Making his first plate appearance is the senior, playing third for the Beat Diggers. The stretch by Miles and the offering, and that is on the outside corner for a strike. It is 0-1. Wellen at third, Dunker at second. Rush trails 10-6 here in the top of the 5th inning. The right-hander comes home, and the fastball is upstairs. I think it was a fastball. It looked like he was trying to snap that wrist a little bit, but it just kept moving in the same direction and had no break on it. Miles not wasting any time. 1-1, and that tails down and in. Ball 2, strike 1. Gunnar Guzman, a very experienced hitter. He's not going to go fishing up there. The stretch by Miles, and he delivers way outside on the changeup, 3-1. And Colin Cole is on deck. And let me see what Miles has done here. He is really... And the 3-1, up and away, not even close. That's the... Let me see, that's... I have that as the 3rd walk he's issued.
Guzman draws the walk.
Let's see if those are... That stat was actually updated.
Colin Cole.
Yeah, the 3rd walk. And now we have a visit to the hill. Colin Cole has singled and grounded out. Let's see if Miles stays in there. He's thrown 37 pitches, but been all over the place. 22 balls and only 15 strikes. And he's issued 3 walks, and he's fallen behind other hitters who he's actually retired. But Valley did graduate some of the back end of their pitching staff. Jose Mercado obviously was a junior last year, and they don't want to bring him into this game unless it's a dire situation. When you're shopping for new appliances, shop the best appliance store in Fort Morgan, B&B Appliance. With a full and complete line of Whirlpool appliances, they'll help you find your perfect fit. B&B Appliance in downtown Fort Morgan. A critical juncture of the game here. Colin Cole with the bases loaded and 2 down in the 5th and brushed down by 4. The pitch, and that is a strike. On the outside corner with the off-speed, it's 0-1 at the knees. At third as well, and Dunker at second. Gunnar Guzman at first, the pitch. And a breaking ball. Oh, boy. That's a strike on the outside corner. That looked like maybe it missed a little bit. And the 0-2 upstairs. Ball 1, strike 2 there to Colin Cole. And the offering. Curveball's a called strike 3 right down the middle. He got fooled on that pitch, on that breaking ball. And the Bead Diggers with a valuable opportunity do not score in that frame. No runs, no hits, no errors, and the bases were left loaded. We head to the bottom of the 5th inning. Valley 10, Brush 6 on 1010 KSIR and KSIR.com. We move to the bottom of the 5th inning in Gilchrist. Boy, that was a tough one for Brush. The bases were loaded. And Colin Cole struck out on a 1-2 breaking ball. And Valley continues to lead by 4. Isaac De Herrera's done a nice job on the mound. Starting his 3rd inning of work, but he'll face the top of the order. Jose Mercado, Kyle Bull, and Tyler Kistler. Yeah, great to be calling more Brush Bead Digger baseball. This is certainly one of our homes, not Valley High School, but anywhere where the Bead Diggers are playing baseball. Mercado has struck out and singled twice. One of the top players in all of 3A, the pitch. And he takes that one a little bit high. 1 ball and no strikes. Lots of changeups. Off speed, off speed, off speed there. Thrown by De Herrera, including that one that's also upstairs. 2-0 to Jose Mercado. The wine and the offering. And that is a strike. Belt high. Looked like that pitch had some lateral action to it. 2-1. And the offering. Swung on and fouled back. Got a piece of it. A change of pace is a nice feature that De Herrera certainly offers. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Now Valley's had the opening hitter on in every inning except the first one. Mercado struck out the pitch. And he swings and pops it foul out of play behind the screen. And they've made a lot of contact. 2-2. Mercado from the right side with an open stance awaits. And he swings and pops it foul and out of play off to the right. Man, these hitters are pesky. They do not go down without a good swing. It remains at 2-2. Here to Mercado. De Herrera toes the rubber. Cole lays down the sign. And the offering. Swung on and tapped foul up the third base side. Man, this guy is just going to stay alive as long as he can. This will be the 8th pitch of the at-bat. He's hit 4 consecutive foul balls. Well, that's why Mercado's at the top of the lineup. You put a guy at the top of the lineup that is very good at making contact. The pitch. Swung on and driven in the air down the left field line. That is twisting foul. And that's the 5th consecutive foul ball he's hit. And it stays at 2-2, but De Herrera's coming into the right-hander. Trying to figure out a way to retire him. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Bottom of the 5th, Valley leads 10-6. Swung on and driven in the air to center field. Justin Griffith comes in a few steps, and he makes the two-handed grab for the opening out. That's a great job there by De Herrera, and he won the battle against Mercado. Kyle Bull has a double, a single, and a pop-out.
Kyle Bull.
Kyle Bull is driven in. Nope, he's not driven in a run. And the pitch. And he takes a changeup for a strike at the knees. No balls and one strike. Well, the sirens are blaring out there here in Gilchrist. And the offering up and away. Count levels at 1-1. The sun is starting to disappear as well. 1 ball, 1 strike with the bases empty. So the B-Diggers have retired Mercado twice in the game. And it's swung on and driven down the left field line. That is into foul territory. And it's 1-2. And D. Herrera is doing an excellent job here for Brush. I mean, he is throwing a lot of strikes. In fact, the strike-to-ball ratio is outstanding. 30 strikes to 14 balls. And some of these are hittable pitches, but he pitches to contact. This is what he does well. Out of the stretch. And the offering. Swung on and grounded towards the second baseman. Nice play by Cox. He gets up. He fires to first for the out. Oh, they're going to call him safe. Foot was off the bag, apparently.
Oh, well, safe at first. First baseman's foot pulls off the bag.
Wow. I'm going to call that an error there on Dunker. It looked like that throw was there. I didn't think that throw was that wide.
Vikings,
He might have committed early.
5, Tyler
Wow.
Kistler.
Well, that looked like he was out from here. But I didn't even see the foot that was pulled. I don't know if Dunker committed too early to the throw and then had to readjust. But that's going to be an error. That's not a base hit. And the B-Diggers will call that an error again. Either way, whether you want to call it on the throw or the first baseman, because it looked like it was good enough. Nonetheless, here's Kistler. Kistler's driven in a couple. He's 2 for 3. And the offering. Swung on and lifted on the right side into shallow right field. And coming in, getting a late jump there is Carson Rule, and the ball bounces away. That's going to be a base hit, but that was not played well out there. That should have been a routine out, and it looked like, I don't think Rule saw it. That's a Texas leaguer. And that's a play that has to be made.
Second for number 7, Ivan Rodriguez.
Well, D. Herrera should be out of this inning. We had a miscue there 2 batters ago, and that was a routine pop-up to the right fielder and swung on and fouled off to the right, and the B-Diggers now struggling defensively. They've got 3 errors in the game, and that was not scored an error. That's a base hit, but it's a play that has to be made. Rodriguez is 1 for 2. Been hit by a pitch as well. Swung on, that ball is grounded left side. The shortstop well into second for 1, and back to first Cox, and that is safe! Off the bag again. Oh, Dunker with a nice stretch, but that throw is up the right field side, so they'll get the 6-4. Boy, nearly a double play there. B-Digger fans don't like that at all. And here's Dominic Triana. A fielder's choice, a sac fly, and a triple.
Choice at second for the second out of the inning. Now up, number 1, Dominic Triana.
But again, that's emblematic of some of the struggles they've had defensively and the offering. And that ball is off the glove of Cole, and advancing to second will be the trail runner, Rodriguez. But now 2 RBIs out there for Triana. The B-Diggers want to keep them at bay right there.
Rodriguez moves to second on the pass ball.
And D. Herrera out of the windup and the pitch. And that's a strike. Down the middle there, it's 1-1 on that changeup. Runners take their leads, and the offering. Swung on and fouled straight back. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Bowl at third, Rodriguez at second. Valley leads by 4 runs, 10-6 here in the bottom of the 5th inning. In the opener for the B-Diggers in his 2018 season against the defending 3A champions. Now he's out of the stretch. Awaiting his Triana the pitch. And that is just outside. Oh boy, that barely missed. Well, that's a great pitch there by D. Herrera, but it was just off the plate. 2-2. And discipline there was Triana not chasing that. The offering, and that's in the dirt. 3-2 with Servando Perez on deck. The wine and offering, and that is taken low on the changeup. Oh, how did Triana lay off of that? But it just went below the knees, and the bases are loaded for Perez,
brings up number 14,
who has 2 walks
Perez,
and a single in the game. Perez had an RBI on that base hit. Oh, this is it. The Bee Diggers need to retire this hitter. Swung on and popped up into left center field. Ben Brown is coming into his left, ranges under it, makes the catch. And a nice job by D. Herrera of retiring the Valley hitter. The Vikings do not score. They get a hit. There was a Bee Digger error, and the bases were left loaded. Both teams left the bases loaded in the 5th inning. Let's head to the 6th. It's Valley 10, Brush 6 on 1010 KSLR and KSLR.com. Valley 10, Brush 6 as we head to the 6th.
Leading off the top of the 6th for the Bee Diggers.
The Bee Diggers send up the top of the order, and Justin Griffith. Griffith has been perfect today. He's walked twice and singled. 1 for 1 officially. Pitch from Jacob Miles is a tailing pitch for a strike on the outer half. Took something off that heater. It's 0-1. Followed by Ben Brown and Caleb Cox. And the offering. And the curveball swung on and missed. No balls and 2 strikes. Griffith, Brown, and Cox here in the 6th. And the pitch. Tails away. Ball 1, strike 2. Jacob Miles has thrown 44 pitches, but he's been all over the place. 24 balls and 20 strikes. However, he's not surrendered a run, so he's doing his job. Swung on, line towards left center field, and that's going to be caught by Kyle Bowl to his right. Boy, perfectly positioned, and Griffith is retired.
By Kyle Bowl for the first out of the inning. That'll bring
Here's Ben Brown.
6, Ben Brown for the Bee Diggers.
Ben Brown looking for a stroke. He struck out a couple of times and popped a short. Wind and offering. And the curveball is swung on and lifted towards the shortstop. Mercado makes the catch to the right of the bag. And that is out number 2. Out number 2 for Caleb Cox, who's grounded out.
Now up number 20, Caleb Cox.
Delivered a 2-run double and then grounded out again. Both ground outs to the right side. The pitch swung on, line foul off to the left. We could see a quick inning. The Bee Diggers have not scored since the 3rd when they tallied 5 times on a 2-run double by Cox and a 3-run triple from Ryan Dunker. And the offering swung on and foul to the screen. The Bee Diggers have stranded 6 and Valley stranded 8 on the base paths. No balls, 2 strikes. The base is empty. Brushes down by 4 in the 6th inning. And the offering. Curveball is grounded foul up the first base side. Count stays at 0-2 with D. Herrera on deck. We'll be back with you on Thursday at 4 o'clock when the Bee Diggers travel to Englewood to take on the Sun Devils of Ken Denver. And the 0-2. Swung on and grounded up the middle. Second baseman Triana to his right. Gloves, drops the ball, picks it up, throws to first late. Yeah, we'll call that a base hit. That ball was hit in the hole. And Triana was still moving his feet over there to his right just to get to it. We'll call it a straight-up hit.
Throw at first for a single.
Here's D. Herrera, singled twice and walked.
22, Isaac D.
Yeah, anything but a routine play there for Triana. If he comes up with it cleanly, he throws him out, but he was still, like I said, motioning to his right, moving to his right. D. Herrera's been on base 3 times today, and the pitch. And the breaking ball is down and away. One ball and no strikes to the Bee Digger pitcher, who's done a great job out here for Brush. And Miles was about to get into the windup, but he balked. Yep, he stepped off, but he was already starting the motion towards the plate. So that's the 4th balk of the game. The Bee Diggers have committed 3. That's the first by Valley. So D. Herrera looking to drive in a run. On the 1-0 pitch. Changeup is down and away. 2 balls and no strikes. Game approaching the 2-hour mark. And the pitch. Swung on and driven down the right side, and that is foul. Took a three-quarter swing. Nice idea there by De Herrera just to place it. But it drifted foul. 2 balls, 1 strike. Brush has 8 hits in the game. Valley with 12. The Bead Diggers have committed 3 errors to Valley's 1. 2 balls, 1 strike, 2 down. With a runner at second. And the offering. That's a strike. A beautiful changeup down the middle at the knees. And the count levels at 2-2. Miles came up with a clutch strikeout of Cole with the bases loaded 1 inning ago, and that swung on and grounded foul up the first base side on the breaking ball. And it remains at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Here to De Herrera. The stretch and the pitch. Swung on and driven in the air to center field. Kyle Bohl is coming, still coming. He dives, and he can't make the catch, and the ball gets away. And scoring for the Bead Diggers as the throw is made to second is going to be Caleb Cox, and the Bead Diggers played a run. It's now 10-7.
Ball drops in front of Kyle Bohl.
That'll be scored a double for De Herrera. And Brush is just inching closer here.
Trailing 10-7. That'll bring up
and Nick Wellen will step in. Wellen with 2 fielder's choices and a walk. He's 0 for 2. And Brush is the tying run on deck. The stretch. We're in the 6th inning, and the pitch. Swung on and lifted foul and out of play off to the right. Yeah, even though the Bead Diggers graduated a lot of good hitters in that order, Trent Mounts and Ryan Fergus and Jaron Peterson, they've come out swinging in this game with 9 base hits, including some extra base hits. The stretch and the 0-1. And that ball hit him on the breaking ball. Wellen is hit by a pitch. And all of a sudden,
first on the hit by pitch,
Carson Rule, who has not been retired today,
that'll bring up
is the tying run.
Carson Rule.
Singled, hit by a pitch, and walked. He is 1 for 1. Let's see if that's it for Miles. Yeah, Coach Kistler realizes the Bead Diggers are generating a rally here, down 10-7. Yep, and that might summon in Mercado. Either way, well, somebody's going to take the ball here for Valley.
A pitching change for the Vikings.
All right, let's tell you about that pitching change.
Coming in to pitch will be number 14.
Right now.
Servando Perez.
So Jacob Miles will go to left field. Servando Perez will be on the mound. In a 10-7 game, we are at the top of the hour. This is 1010 KSIR, Brush, Fort Morgan, Marino, as well as KSIR.com. Let's get to this feature here, part of the Brush Bead Digger baseball season. Back live here in Gilchrist. Well, the Bead Diggers trail 10-7. The new pitcher once again is Servando Perez with a tying run at the plate in Carson Rule. The Bead Diggers have been fighting back all game since falling behind 8-1 after 2 innings, and have scored 6 of the last 8 runs in this game.
To face number 24, Carson Rule.
Let's see what the right fielder for Brush can do here. Rule has had a very good game offensively, as I mentioned, been on base 3 times. And Ryan Dunker, who cleared the bases with a triple in the 2nd inning, is on deck. Another right-hander here for Valley. At second is De Herrera, Wellen at first. And the offering. Swung on and grounded foul, fisted foul up the first base side. Boy, tried to jam him with that fastball, did a nice job, but Rule made some contact, no balls and 1 strike. The stretch by Perez. And the pitch. And the curveball is right down the middle, strike 2. Yeah, Rule was waiting for another pitch, didn't get it. Now you got to look for anything right now. No balls and 2 strikes. This is a challenging count. Pitch to Rule, and that is low with a changeup. Man, at this point you got to see it right out of his hand. Remember that they've come up with some clutch outs here. Has Valley, which is why the Bead Diggers have only scored a run since that third inning. And the offering. And the curveball, that's a called strike 3 on the inside corner. Yep, that's a perfect pitch. 1 run for Brush on 2 hits. No errors and 2 men left. We head to the bottom of the 6th inning. Valley 10, Brush 7 on 1010 KSIR and KSIR.com. 10-7 Valley as we head to the bottom of the 6th inning. And for the Beet Diggers, Isaac D. Herrera back on the mound. And this Valley team, they just come out swinging every inning, but D. Herrera did not allow a run in the bottom of the 5th inning. It'll be Blake Sherman, Ty Stotts, and Rafael Delgado, the 7, 8, and 9 hitters. Yeah, D. Herrera has been really, really good. 37 strikes, 18 balls.
Number 16, Blake Sherman.
Hasn't struck out anybody. He's walked 1, but still he's pitching to contact. Here's the wind and pitch. And that is upstairs with a changeup to Sherman, who's 1 for 3. His base hit drove in a couple of runs. And the offering. Oh, he floats that in for a strike, man. This guy, fun to watch pitch in art. Very Ryan Dunkerish, just pulling the string. And the offering. Well, that one was not pretty, in the dirt. 2 balls and 1 strike. D. Herrera now in his 4th inning of work, and he's been very good. 2-1 to Sherman, and the offering, and that one's up and in. Ball 3, strike 1. The Beet Diggers have retired the leadoff hitter only twice in the game, in the 1st inning and in the 5th inning. And that will remain. That one's nowhere close on the changeup down and away. 2nd walk issued by D. Herrera. I mean, they're extending him on this outing, so it might be an issue here to finish it off. But that's what Coach Fergus wants. Wants D. Herrera to get through the 6th and to give the Beet Diggers a chance. They're only down by 3, 10-7. This was an 8-1 game after 2 innings, and Brush has come storming back. And that changeup is a strike on the inner half at the knees. It's 0-1. Here to the DH, Ty Stotts, who's walked, singled, and popped out. He's 1 for 2. Brush nearly turned a double play a couple of innings ago. Let's see if they can do it right now. The pitch swung in a foul off the end of the bat towards the dugout on the 3rd base side. Occupied by Valley. It's, well, not really that close. No balls and 2 strikes. Yeah, if you can avoid getting Mercado up there, that would help. D. Herrera steps off. 0-2 here. Big lead at first, the pitch. Oh, that was scooped up nicely by Cole. Looked like a sidearm changeup. I've never seen that. And obviously it's not the pitch D. Herrera wanted. The arm slot was completely off there. But nice job by Colin Cole. 1 ball and 2 strikes. That's what you get out of a veteran catcher. Makes some good plays behind the plate. With Delgado waiting to hit next. The stretch by D. Herrera. And the offering. Swung on and fouled off to the right. There's only been 1 foul ball hit in this game that there was a play on. That was the one that Ben Brown caught in, I believe, the 2nd inning in foul territory in left field. 1-2, swung on and fouled to the backstop. 65 pitches thrown by D. Herrera. So it remains at 1-2. Yeah, the earliest he can pitch after this would be Saturday. And the offering. Swung on. That ball's grounded left side and backhanding it as well. And he throws off balance to first, but that'll be late. And then the ball skips by the first baseman, Dunker. It'll be a single and an error. And Dunker probably should have backed up, but that's going to be error on the shortstop. Yeah, you can't let that one get away.
Blake will move up to
4th error committed by Brush. Here's Delgado, but it is a base hit, and for Valley, they picked up 13 hits in the game. Delgado has popped out, struck out, and grounded out. So the Vikings are threatening to extend this 10-7 lead.
Delgado.
The stretch and the offering. Swung on, that ball is grounded left side. That's a base hit. Sherman scores. Delgado gets the RBI single, and Valley's back up by 4. It's 11-7. And again, the leadoff walk, which is always a killer regardless of how well you're pitching, has come home to roost here. Mercado has struck out, singled twice and popped out. And courtesy runner at second is Eli Knowles.
Number 4, Eli Knowles.
As the temperature begins to drop here
Now up for the Vikings,
at Valley High School.
Number 10, Jose Mercado.
We'll have a quick post-game show, then get you to the pregame of the Avalanche and Wild after this. And the pitch squaring to bunt, and he lays it down the first base side, and charging is Dunker, and Dunker is going to try to tag the running going by, but he's out of the baseline. And they're going to call him safe? You can't call him safe there. That is ridiculous. He's way out of the baseline, and he never put his hand on the bag. That's a terrible call. You got to get help from the home plate umpire there. Mercado never put his hand on the bag. He was way out of the baseline. How the field umpire calls that safe is beyond me. That's got to be. He got to call him out. I don't think. Let's see what the ruling is there. Coach Fergus came hopping out of the dugout. They've got to call him out. I mean, I cannot believe that that's a safe call there. He didn't even have the angle. I mean, Mercado got there before Dunker, but he never stuck his hand on the bag, and he looked like he was way off the baseline on the foul side, and he's going to be called out, and that's the logical call. Man, I can't believe you even make that call from that angle. 3 unassisted. No sacrifice there. Well, we'll give him the sack, actually. And the runners advance. Yeah, that's...
They will call Mercado out at first.
And here's Kyle Bull with a double, a single. He's popped out and reached on an error. So after conferring with the home plate umpire, logic
Number 6
prevailed.
Kyle Bull.
Out of the windup is De Herrera, and the pitch swung on and tapped off the end of the bat on the third base side, and it's barehanded by the pitcher. Throw to first, and in time. Nice play there by De Herrera. The runners hold, and there's 2 down. Boy, that's an outstanding play by De Herrera. He continues to shine in this game.
First fields a grounder, throws Kyle out at first for the
And here is
out of the
Tyler Kistler, who's 3 for 4.
Number 5, Tyler Kistler.
Kistler is driven in 3 in the game. And the pitch. And he swings and sends a fly ball into right center field. Carson Rule to his right makes the two-handed grab. And the inning is over. Again, an excellent job by Isaac De Herrera to limit the damage. 1 run on 2 hits, 1 error, and 2 men left. We head to the 7th inning in Gilchrist. Valley 11, Brush 7 on 1010 KSIR and KSIR.com. Let's head to the top of the 7th inning. The Bee Diggers have really played a fairly solid game against the defending state champions. Yeah, they made some errors here and there, but they're right there in the 7th, trailing 11-7. And they've had the tying run at the plate each of the previous 2 innings. It'll be Ryan Dunker, Gunnar Guzman, and Colin Cole against right-hander Servando Perez, who is trying to nail down the save in this game. Jacob Miles is set to be the winning pitcher if they can hold on. Dunker at 1 for 3, also grounded out, hit it to a fielder's choice. And that ball's in the dirt. 1 ball and no strikes. The Bee Diggers trying for a rally here in the 7th, down by 4. With the bottom of the order. And the wine and offering. Swung on and foul to the backstop. Count is at 1-1. Brush has had some extra base hits in this game. A 2-run double by Cox, the 3-run triple by Dunker, RBI double by De Herrera. And the offering, and the breaking ball is down the middle for a strike. That froze Dunker. It's 1-2. The right-hander, Servando Perez, gets the sign from Kistler. And the offering way outside on the fastball. Ball 2, strike 2 to the leadoff hitter for Brush here in the 7th. In Gilchrist against the defending 3A champions. And the 2-2 pitch swung on and fouled to the screen. Dunker was challenged with a fastball, got a piece of it. Remains at 2-2. Watch out for that breaking ball. He might try to backdoor him here. 2-2 pitch. And the curveball, did he wave at it? I don't think he did. He did not, as the pitch was in the dirt. 3-2. Nice discipline there by Ryan Dunker. That was a very tempting pitch to swing at, but Dunker laid off. 3-2 here to Dunker to lead off the 7th. The wind and offering swung on, tapped foul up the third base side towards the Valley dugout. Remains at 3 balls and 2 strikes. Well, thank goodness that we had the time change. This would we wouldn't be playing baseball right now if this was last Tuesday. Here's the wind. 3-2. Called strike 3. Right down the middle of the fastball, a tailing fastball, and Dunker's out number 1.
First out of the inning.
Here's Gunnar Guzman, who walked.
For the Beat Diggers, number 14, Gunnar Guzman.
So Dunker finishes today at 1 for 4. The wind, the pitch to Guzman. And he takes a breaking ball down and in. 1 ball and no strikes. But the Beat Diggers will have some positives to build on, and of course just try to fix some other things as well. Game is not over, though. I mean, they have rallied in this game just when you least expected Brush to come back, when they were down 8-1, and they had 2 outs in that second inning and came up with more runs. 2 balls and no strikes as that pitch to Guzman was in the dirt. And the offering by Perez, and that is a swing and a miss, a half swing and a tailing fastball. That really jammed him. He was just better off laying off that one, but it's 2-1. Guzman with that closed stance from the right side, that front foot closer to the plate than the back foot. The pitch in the dirt with an off-speed pitch. 3 balls and 1 strike. If you can get to the second or third hitter in this lineup, Beat Diggers could make things interesting, but they got to get Guzman on base. 3-1, and that one's in the dirt, and Guzman walks. Second time he's walked in the game.
Guzman draws the walk. Now up for the Beat Diggers.
And here's Colin Cole. Cole single, grounded out, then struck out with the bases loaded in the 5th. He is 1 for 3. The stretch and the offering way outside. 1 ball and no strikes. I'd love to tabulate how many pitches have been thrown in this game. The Beat Diggers have thrown 127. And the offering, down and in, nearly hit him. Yeah, there's been over 270 pitches thrown in this game. That's a lot considering it's only a 7-inning game here in high school. 2 balls and no strikes. Pitch to Cole. Upstairs with a fastball, 3-0. Well, you know what? Again, the Beat Diggers are far from done. They've been pretty disciplined at the plate. 3-0 with Griffith on deck, and Griffith's only been retired once. And the offering, and that is low with a changeup. And it's a walk to Cole. And the tying run is going to be on deck. The Beat Diggers have a shot to send the tying run to the plate for a 3rd consecutive inning.
Second for number 2, Justin Griffith.
Griffith walked his first 2 times up, singled, then hit a line shot. That was caught by the center fielder, Kyle Bowl. He's 1 for 2 officially. The runners take their leads. And the offering. And that is a fastball outside. Boy, that's 7 straight pitches out of the strike zone. Here for the right-hander, Perez. I'm surprised they haven't visited the mound yet. 1-0. Well, that's a strike. On that tailing changeup on the outer half, it's 1-1. Ben Brown is on deck. One down in the 7th. Valley leads Brush 11-7. And the offering down and in on the off-speed. 2-1. I'm telling you right now, this is... The Bead Diggers are not done. I mean, I know I'm repeating myself, but they have not been retired in order today. And the 2-1 pitch. And that one's in the dirt. 3-1. Well, they have to bring in Mercado, their ace, in order to try to nail this down because Perez right now is really struggling. 15 balls and 10 strikes. 3-1. Let's see if Griffith takes. And the pitch. And that's up and away. And the bases are loaded on 3 walks issued by Servando Perez.
For 6, Ben Brown.
Ben Brown still looking for that swing. He is really scuffled today. 2 strikeouts and 2 infield pop-ups. None of that will matter if he can come through right now. With the bases loaded and 1 down in the 7th. Valley 11, Brush 7. 3rd consecutive inning. The Bead Diggers have sent the tying run to the plate. In the previous 2 innings, they did it with 2 down. Here, they're doing it with 1 down. The wind and pitch. That changeup is a strike at the knees. No balls and 1 strike. With another senior on deck and Caleb Cox, the pitch. Breaking ball, swing and a miss. That pitch tailed down and away. Now you really got to shorten that swing if you're Brown. 0-2 to the left fielder. And the offering. Curveball is grounded right up the middle to the shortstop. Mercado steps to the back for 1, throws to first. And in time, that's going to be a 6-3 double play. And the game is over. On a 6-3 double play, the Valley Vikings have won the game. Wow, just like that. The Bead Diggers, no runs on no hits, no errors, and 2 men left. The final score, Valley 11, Brush 7 on 1010 KSIR and KSIR.com. The Bead Digger post-game show is brought to you by Mr. D's Ace Farm and Home Center. They're your headquarters for your home, farm, and ranch supplies from plumbing to feed, with 3 locations to serve you, Sterling, Brush, and Fort Morgan. Mr. D's Ace Farm and Home Center. The Valley Vikings defeat the Brush Bead Diggers in the opening day of the season for Brush 11-7. Valley with 11 runs on 14 hits, 1 error, and 10 left on base. The Bead Diggers, who had the tying run at the plate 3 innings in a row, come up with 7 runs on 9 hits, 4 errors, 10 left on base. The winning pitcher in relief was Jacob Miles. The loss to Justin Griffith. Time of the game, 2 hours and 22 minutes. Bead Diggers took a 1-0 lead on Isaac D. Herrera's RBI single in the first inning. And then Valley came back as they would score in the bottom of the first. 2 runs, 1 on a balk and 1 on an RBI single from Ivan Rodriguez. And then they scored 6 more in the second inning. Tyler Kistler had 3 RBIs in the game. The Bead Diggers did come back in the 5th inning, making it an 8-6 game on a 2-run double from Caleb Cox and a 3-run triple from Ryan Dunker. Valley scored the next 2 runs, making it 10-6. Then the Bead Diggers countered on Isaac D. Herrera's RBI double in the top of the 6th inning. Valley scored 1 in the bottom of the 6th. And despite having the bases loaded and 1 down in the 7th, the Bead Diggers could not score in that 7th inning, and they fall by a score of 11-7. And once again for Valley, they had 3 RBIs in the game from Kistler, as well as a couple there from Blake Schuerman on a base hit in that 6-run second inning. The Bead Diggers did get some very good offensive performances. D. Herrera was on base 4 times. He had 3 of Brush's 14 hits, of Brush's 9 hits, I should say, in the game. Bead Diggers back in action coming up on Thursday. They'll be in Englewood against the Kent Denver Sun Devils. We'll have that game beginning at 4 o'clock. I'm John Beltran from Volunteer Park in Gilcrest. The final score, Valley 11, Brush 7 on 1010 KSIR and KSIR.com.